Hello. Okay. All right. Just trying to make sure everything's working. Again, alternate camera setup because my primary camera decided to go on the fritz again. Guessing there's an app or the camera old. I don't know. Yeah. Let's talk to myself. Voice line. Alrighty. So, yeah, we're back for Sunday with Scoob. Today we're gonna work on continue work on my dark ink. Kind of need to get a little more progress done on them, and kind of wanted to shift away from some stuff I've been. That's what it is. So we're gonna do this. So quick shout out real quick for Sirenscape, or not Sirenscape, Stream Beats, because I'm still listening today. Some Stream Beats, go to streambeats.com. Hang out, paint some minis. The voice line is open for those who have access through our Discord. If you're Frontier or live gamecasts or moderators who just hang out and have fun, we can just chat, go through the chat, that kind of thing. So with that, if you're stopping by and you like this, be sure to hit the like, hit the subscribe, and hit the bell notification, notify of more videos. We'll just, yeah, it's Sunday. We have coffee. We're gonna hang out. See how those things. Listen to me talk to myself for 2 hours. Whatever you feel like. Get to it, shall we? Ready? Are without mini can. So, like I said, working on Dark Angels. So from the Dark Vengeance box set, got a couple of squads here. As you can see, I already got the kind of a base coat with the Caliban green and a few thin coats over the majority of it, and now we're just going to start coming in. We're going to work on our bolter rifles, get some of the other details around, and kind of work these guys in continuation. This is basically just going to be a batch paint. Do one, move on, do the next, do next. Got a little paint handle here. This is the newest one that came out because I guess they wanted to go with something thinner, which I guess is nice because you could get in there with the other one. It was a little hard to get some more details. But yeah, we're going to be using some. I don't have enough Citadel paints to do them all in Citadel colors, so we're gonna switch over and we're gonna offset these with the Vallejo game color line. Gonna go from there. As I said, I will probably talk to myself the majority of this. But coming into the chat, please give a shout out, give a hi. We'll kind of try and watch it and go from there. Red light. There we go. Now we can see her. Yeah. Well, that does help. Alrighty, let's start with bolters, because bolters and the plasma rifles all need some work. Go with this Vallejo Zero brush. And the first thing we're going to do is we're going to kind of, I guess, work from the bottom up. The combination, we're going to do some gunmetal on some of the lower parts. We're going to use some bloody red for the red parts. Let's see what gunmetal areas here. Paint palette here. Really can't express how much I really enjoy the fact that droppers are so much easier there and kind of go through that I've learned is thin paints are so much easier. Extra nice cover is boots further right. Yeah, the trick is not to overload the brushes. Go over it. Around that. Some of the first ones I was painting stopped and found us other colors as we about to. I don't mind doing a couple of coats, split up in layers. Doing it and around that red layer. Fairly easy. Thick coat. Oh. Another spot. Really hitting that, don't. Makes sense. It's probably these little exhaust ports. For my although shifting them back and forth, that's probably going to be. In our Discord. Back more. Some people actually a little bit. Cool. Try not to. Always come back and add. Dark Angel. Alright, Bill. Dominate. Assault. Ravenwing and Deathwing. Done because they were my first model acquired. Get them done. Feel better about moving on and adding to the army the boxes that tell us really. Outbreak. Whole lot of pain. It's just 28mm egg. It was definitely rough. Over pro. Of course, you know, first time you do a model, you always do up with roll over the. That's the whole point. You gotta. Probably more gunmetal. Hot. The little things, you know. Urban is the forehead. carry on. Sorry, don't mean to. Painting, yay! Future, paint the same thing on 20 different models. One will be. That's okay. Yes, it's spring. Where bees are out. Carpenter bees run into windows. Why? Who knows? Kinda. Supposed to go play disc golf this morning. Do that a lot. But forecast today was like it was rainy. However, I know the course we got probably flooded. I was like, probably wasn't a bad thing. Hope you're enjoying if you're watching. Go ahead and say something. Hi, how's it going? Long time watcher, first time commenter. Yeah, right. Yeah. Talk to the ant that's crawling on my arm. Coach, front mamas. much better. You know, I might be looking how to do that. And bolter. Brush. Coffee. Oh, I can listen to it. Coffee. Great and fine. I gotta tell you about those lobster. That lobster ale is a fire taste. Can't believe it. That's what you have a character and I mean, a lot of people thought about doing more. I definitely need to practice. Sessions one. Both parties seem to be adding more layers to the engaging. Don't invest. Try to work backstory. Of course, both parties leveled up because trying to be more aware of milestone. It's hard. I mean, I think XP manage the game is really difficult, especially if you look at the way XP is supposed to. I think there's still some more to learn about it. Something I was listening to, one of the D&D videos. I think it was a D&D video from somewhere, bouncing counters. Section where it talks about how to balance it. What's your daily allotment of it? Build everything in the session around what your daily XP allotment is. Manage it a lot better. But I think that's just one of those things. Hardest thing. Balance. What's too much? Not engaging enough. What happens when your party is so OP that you throw something at them and they sneeze and it dies? Happen? Oh, to be honest, I have grossly underestimated players on many occasions. Get to the Sorry. I've gotten better about it. I mean, I don't have much player death, but player death should be a thing. Find that moment where player death is. I don't know if it's really worth it. Some negative kind of. Player death and character death. Like, that's such a fine line to balance. To do it, not need to. Further the story, or did it? Buddies who play Warhammer, they're like, dude, we want to see a full army on the table. I'm like, working on it. A friend who comes over on Thursdays was playing minis. I've been doing that for almost 2 months now, and it's like I've done minis once that were Dragonborn is cute. No real plan, just here's the minis, here's some paint, let me see what comes together. They're about half. Right thing. Kids minis and brushes I've got, I'm finally things that could be like player characters or NPCs or whatever. For some 2 hours on the model and all that, because it's only ever going to be on the table for a little bit of time. Player character models, a little bit more. I promise. Daunting. Better my vision. Yep. How do I? Even more challenging is Unity. Hands down, the hardest thing I've. Those eyes. Tap that wrong. Horrible. Pressure. Now, of course, next week I've got serious building to do, counter-wise. Party's going to be going up against Brow House. I could take the lazy way out. I could do the one Brow build, just multiply. I think that's limiting yourself. Of course. Oh, what have I got to work with? What do I have in the... And I was like, oh yeah, 5th edition has like 12 or 13 different Drow builds, Dark Elf builds, and it's like...
Heidi, Heidi ho.
Heidi ho! How's it going, buddy?
I am good, Scuba. What is happening over yonder? I see got your miniatures going. Have
yeah,
two laptops up.
I'm wanting to get some more work done on these Dark Angels. They've been sitting for a couple of months with only being
Yeah.
partially done. So it's like, you know what? I'm gonna work on these.
Take at it. Get at it.
Yeah, just kind of batch painting through some of the finer details and talking to myself for the while now. How's things in
Well,
your
I'm
neck of the
here.
woods?
I am good. Just
Doing that school
super
thing?
busy. Well, not right. Yep. That's why a few minutes late. In
Oh no, you're
last
fine.
week, it was just Easter Sunday. So I wasn't near a computer at all. So
I did
it
something
was the
really
family
weird.
thing.
I mean, I sat there this past week, and there was a day I did not even turn my computer on. And believe that.
That is kind of surprising.
Yeah, I
But
didn't
I
even
have
turn it
mentioned
on.
it's good
I
to do
just
that.
left it off.
Yeah, that's what I try to do every Saturday, or at least the Saturday is the day
Yes.
where I don't touch the laptop.
Hold
Not
on,
either one
Rye.
of
I
them.
got I got one of the kids off camera sitting here. He knocked on the door jamb, and I'm not going to look up because if I look up, I will lose what I'm looking at. So I'm going to wait for him to ask me what he's going to ask me. Ask.
Ask away.
Okay, put it on the clipboard, get a pen, and I will sign it right now. We're just gonna go. This is life. Life is full of surprises and unexpected things.
Oh yeah, I'm used to that.
Yep.
Kind of like training.
Mm.
Training one thing, and then at the last second, somebody else jumps in it, so I have to revamp the training slightly.
Well, are you revamping it based on the number of participants?
I'm revamping it based on well, I had to revamp it because it was originally just supposed to be a refresher for somebody, but then left swerve, I guess another team brought in a new business analyst that needs to know the topic that I was teaching, so I had to like build it further out than just a refresher. So go, retool it to make it work for both the experience and the novice. So hello, my child. Or I hear you.
You can hear him, but you can't see him. He's slightly off camera.
Right. Speaking of which, is he interested in an Xbox purchase?
Xbox? You can ask him. Okay.
So I don't know if you know.
An Xbox One. He just.
I got the new Xbox. One of the new Xboxes, the Series X.
Yeah, he got the Series X. He's got his Xbox One. Going to part with it on the exchange of funds. What's the price you're thinking on, Rye?
I haven't really settled because it comes with it's the original console, obviously, but it comes with 2 controllers and a rechargeable kit. So it's got rechargeable batteries with the charger. So that might add a little bit of value.
It would, and he's started working, so we can work on a way to figure that out. Not in.
Oh yeah. So I know the price that I saw GameStop's price on the original used. But, so they're still selling it pretty high. Not super high, but higher than what I thought it would be.
Oh yeah, I mean until there's a huge saturation, which we're not going to really see that until what is it? You're not going to see much of a change till had the thought and I'm losing it until the Series X is more prevalent.
A year or 2 years,
maybe.
Year and a half is your guess. My guess is about a year and a half. That's what I think. That's my guess. That's just a guess. Just based on trends and a slight hindsight. Whereas whenever new systems actually went on, they actually had a good, transition, good load of games. But the transition is minimal. That's the word I can think of, where like everything is cross-gen developed right now still.
Yeah.
That, you know, there's no rush to go get one, but at the same time, it's hard to find the new one. So, you know,
Right.
yeah, I
I
think a
mean, there
year
was
and a half.
what we had to wait.
Because
I mean, launch was back in what, November. We had to wait
yeah,
till last month before we saw a lot of the PS5s and the series and the Xbox Series X's and Series S's be available to purchase again since their launch.
oh yeah, between November and March, it was pretty much like back alley deals and thousand
Scalpers
plus
galore.
purchases. Yeah, which yeah, there was times where I was almost gonna buckle, but I was like, you know what, let my patience wane, and it'll happen. So and it did, and eventually did. Like I mentioned to you before, and other when we talked on the podcast before, is like I could have bought, you know, PS5 or this or that, but I really wanted one particular system, and I was like, you know what, I am willing to wait because the slew of games isn't really there for a few months. So, and I've beaten pretty much all the new ones that I got.
Have you ever
I've gone
finished
back
Days
to the whole
Gone?
game. Days Gone? No, I've not finished that. I haven't for some. It's kind of like a Watch Dogs Legions. It kind of just fell in the pack, and I've never gone back to it. If you want to borrow it,
Yeah,
I don't know if it's part of the.
I'm almost done with Horizon Zero Dawn.
Yeah, but yeah, if you want to take it off me, you can definitely have it because I'm not
Yeah,
going to
I
play it at
really
all.
enjoyed that one when I watched the story, and I'm thinking I'm definitely more into those open world RPG things, like
Yeah,
Days Gone, like Horizon Zero Dawn, like Fallout and Elder Scrolls and stuff. Just because I like the idea of just being able to wander around, as long as
yeah,
it's
you
not
can
too much
definitely.
on rails.
Yeah,
Dude,
yep. I don't know why it wasn't. It wasn't that it was a good or bad. It's just one of those things. Another game came out, and then I just kind of moved forward and never went back.
yeah,
I think it
I
was
was
actually I was
debating
starting
on
to
what I was
play
gonna
it.
do next
I don't
because
remember.
I'm almost done with Horizon. Like I hit level 51 not too long ago. I'm working through the Frozen Wild stuff now. I've got my spear upgrade where I could sit there and add upgrades to the spear. That didn't take long at all. And
Yeah,
I was like,
yeah, that doesn't take too long.
no. I mean, when you go in, I mean the quest is for level 30, and I rolled up in there when I was level 50. So it was just like, too terrible. And I think, downgrading the difficulty to story, I think was kind of interesting. But I think I seem to, I'm thinking I'm probably I'm probably a lot better at it than I thought I was when I downgraded it. Because, the intimidation when you look at the difficulty levels, where it's like I'm barely using health potions and all that unless I just put myself in a bad situation.
Yeah, yeah, I think yeah, dropping things down to story mode can actually be more fun. I saw there's somebody that made a comment on Facebook about it, you know, and I was like, you know what? Nowadays, that's kind of what I do. I drop it down to story just so I can enjoy the game. Um,
Yeah, not feel like,
if it gets to the
yeah, I get
if it
it.
get, yeah if it gets to a point where you know there's some easy modes where it's like it takes away from the fun. I do like you know just you know slight comp. Like I don't want the NPCs to be dumb. You know they run straight for you and they don't have any kind of like
Yeah, totally
you
get
know
that.
it has some kind of human ability when you're fighting some kind of challenge. But you know enough to where I'm not playing no Demon Soul style caliber game. I don't want to torture myself. So um but yeah, I'm not, you know, into the, you know, trying to spend 8 hours just trying to beat one boss where I can spend 8 hours and traverse the world and do the quests or do the mission and then just kind of enjoy everything else. Um,
Yeah.
That's
Totally get that. And Horizon is just
why that's why I liked Lord of the Rings. Yeah, Horizon is massive. I eventually go back to it if I felt like it, but
I'm just
so you're near.
I'm liking the fact. I
Yeah,
mean, I was sitting there just, I enjoyed just the wandering around and everything.
yeah.
I finally got to I think I only have a few skill things left to unlock. And it's like I'll get them unlocked and it'll be like, okay. And I think they originally kind of built it where you work through the story, and then once you're done with the story, you kind of wander around for all these side quests. I was like doing all the side quests first and then doing the story. Feeling very, very much like Skyrim, where it's like I
Oh
could
yeah.
do the main quest, but I'm not really in a hurry to do.
Oh yeah, that's one thing that I liked about it. It was just kind of a wanderer's mentality. You wander into town, you do quests, or you can just wander around, take out the techno dinosaurs, depending on what you need or what bounties are out there, or whatever you want to call it.
Yeah, there's a few
Um,
of the bandit hideouts left for me to do. There's I mean, I can now take down Thunderjaws and Stormbirds and be like, well, that was fun.
but yeah, Thunderjaws.
Thunderjaws are pretty fun.
Woof, I remember fighting them. I
They're
was like, you know what? This is fun, but it's crazy.
Oh, it's so crazy. And the thing is I think what I'm gonna really be trying to figure out how to do, figure out how to creep up on one and then override it. So I got the
That'd be
override
great.
for them, and
Yeah.
doing that and Stormbird, how to override a Stormbird.
I love overriding, man, because then you can have a team of fighters where you be like, I am not going in alone. So,
So
have
that
you
I can
gotten
sit there and
what's it?
stealth.
You're almost done with
Again?
you said you're almost done with the main storyline?
Yeah, I did the one where you save Meridian from the Oseram uh, guy who's all in vengeance.
Yeah.
And then I think my next main quest is to go into Robotics Command, or the Grave Horde they call it, and go through all of that, and then it's off to Gaia Main. But I still have the big fight with the Eclipse I haven't done yet. But I haven't unlocked that next layer in the story. It's like I got through the when I got through the Meridian one, then it was like, all right, forcing me into the various side quests. And there was this one with this really crazy Banuk shaman, where it's like acquired taste is the quest line. That dude is something up with him. Have you done that? Have you done that side quest thing? Or do you remember that side quest thing?
It's been a long time, but it doesn't ring a bell. I might have, who knows?
You
But it's been a
stumble
long time.
across
I've ran into a
him.
lot of crazy people. Like,
You
I'm pretty
stumble
sure.
across him, and he seems to want to drink the fluids from the machines. So he has you kind of
Uh,
go through and start with like sawtooths, and then go into like I think you had to go through you had to do a sawtooth, then you had to do a stalker, then you had to do a thunderjaw, then you had to do a stormbird. Kept having these wild visions when he drank the fluid. Once you get done with the stormbird, he was like, yeah, things about to get real cray-cray around here, so I'm out. I'm going west, and if you ever have a chance, look me up sometime. And then he's like, peace, I'm out. Just like, wait, what, huh? What's going on?
oh yeah, definitely. It's a fun game. I just don't know why I stopped playing it.
Something else probably came along.
That's probably what happened.
I mean, let's be honest. Something else probably came along. It was like, all right, I'm gonna work on that. Like, I know one game I want to go back to actually going through, and I know that is hard. That is
You
one of those.
know,
Yeah,
that
we
is
need
that
to
will
go back
definitely
to
be a
that.
hard hard to get back in, but I think what will happen, maybe like it happens to me, is that once you get back into it, you kind of just get into the flow, and then you start wanting to explore, and you get immersed back in that world. But if you haven't been in the game for a while, you're gonna have to
Yeah, that's why
figure
I'm
out all
thinking
the
it's going to be
menus and
one of those
mechanics again.
things. I do that. It's like a lot like Horizon sometimes with those button controls. Like, that's the only.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Like I can I'll mention it uh later on when we do our podcast. But I did go back to Red Dead 2 to start playing that
I've
extensively
got that
because I didn't
one.
realize how many chapters I was near the end. So I was like, you know what? I'm gonna start doing all the other stuff in this game. You said you got that one too? Which system?
PS4.
Okay.
Library of PS4 games.
Yeah, that one's definitely it's a definitely change of pace game. It's a very slowed down and methodical because you're kind of just roaming around. I mean, other doing like the main story stuff, but you can just kind of roam around, um, and do things, and then like you'll randomly just wanna um just because you're an outlaw, so you'll just randomly you can just rob people on the road, uh, or you can rob the train, or you can just run out in the woods, and there can just be a bunch of hobos there, and
It's funny when you think about that. It's
you're
like
like, you know what? I'll just
criminals and all
take you
that.
out
And
and steal your stuff.
we're like, you should be a criminal. You shouldn't glorify criminals. And it's like, wait a minute. How many of the successful games from Rockstar are literally just?
Oh yeah, but on the bright side, there was one where I was going through the woods because I was looking to just picking up deer. I was going out for a hunt, and then all of a sudden I saw a group of people in the woods just cheering, and I looked, and I put on my got my binoculars, and I looked through the lens, and it was this is a Western game, so you know what time and setting it's set in. It was the clan was meeting out in the woods. And I saw that, and it just made me mad. So I got down from my horse. I grabbed my best gun, which is the Evans repeater, and you can go into that dead aim. So I went into that dead aim and was just like mark headshot, 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 and just shot, headshot, 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 headshot. I just took them out. I was like, all right, I did my good deed for the day. Back to robbing and pillaging.
Yeah, I
But
got no
there is
problem.
there's
I got no
consequences.
problem robbing people in the background and all that. But if I see the clan, it's like, all right, we're.
No, I didn't even get hesitate. I was just like, you know what, take out my Evans repeater and let's go. But yeah, that game is very realistic. I forgot how realistic that game is because you have to take care of your group, take care of your horse. There is ramifications for being an outlaw, so you want to make sure that you're doing it for right. Because I have a lot of good, interesting scenarios that happen throughout the game since I've come back to play it. I'll leave it for Tuesday, but it's just kind of fun because it is truly open world. You have the choice, but there's consequences to this.
Which I think is a nice thing because we've gone through how many generations of games where consequence reactions and you're like, okay, yeah, sure, whatever you say. Oh yeah.
There was yeah. Yeah.
Definitely something wrong here.
Yeah. Like I'm in chapter 4. There's 6 chapters. Yeah. There's 6 chapters in the game plus 2 epilogues, but so I'm kind of near the end. But the thing is like there's ramifications. So like if I go back to one of the old towns that you were in the early part of the game, one is called Valentine. And you go in there and they'll be sitting on the porch just like, hey, we don't like your kind back around here. We know what you did, so they don't forget what you did in certain parts of the game. Like I'm walking up to a bar and these guys is like, he's the one that runs with Dutch's game. What you doing around here? You bleep bleep bleep. And then they start want to start some stuff. So I was like, well, I'm not here. I'm just you can choose the option to defuse. And then you're walking away, but the guy is a drunkard, so he's chasing you down with his friend. Like, okay, I'm trying to get away from you. Then they pull out their guns. It's like, all right, I pulled out my revolver and shot them down in the street. And then you hear a guy in the background was like, "What's going on there?" And he's like, "Oh, never mind. I'll see you
later.
That's pretty much what he said. Yeah, that's the organic nature of that game, which I forgot it was in that game. Like, it's just everything matters. So you won't be in a part of the area for so long, but you go back and they don't forget your face. So I haven't ran into any crazy creatures, but there was a mission where we had to, this circus group, and you had to find the lost animals. And two of them were actually fake. And then you go on and look for the third one. It's like, this can't be a real lion. And sure enough, it's a real lion that you have to take out. But
like an African
it's
lion?
cool. Yeah. Like it was, the mission was all about this guy is a traveling circus, and something happened and the animals broke loose. He's like a mixture of a con artist, because the first two animals you find aren't actually the animals. One that he says is a tiger, but it's actually a mountain lion from the mountains, and the zebra is actually just a horse that he tarred up and burnt to make it look like a zebra. So when you're going to look for the lion, you're like, your character is just like, man, this ain't gonna be a real lion. And then you head to the ranch where the lion is supposed to be, and you notice it's kind of weird. Why is all this stuff dead? So when you go and find it, it's an actual lion. So
that's interesting.
So yeah, that was an interesting mission. There's a lot of crazy stuff. I'll save some of it for Tuesday, but yeah, that was one of the crazy missions I came across. Yeah, but it's just randomness that happens on the road. You might be just helping somebody out, or somebody trying to con you, make it look like they're fake, or raiders will come out from the mountains and like, take him out, he's part of Dutch's gang. But I've leveled up to the point, my camp, like, I'm almost OP, not completely, like I will die if I'm not paying attention, but I get in cover, and I have that dead aim I can use. You can only use it.
You only use it a couple of times.
It's not unlimited. But if you're really good at, well, it's a bar that you have to that you actually have to replenish. So you got to replenish your health and all your stamina. And you got to go to the stores to get chewing tobacco, or you hunt to get food to replenish, or you go back to camp, or you go to some spot and eat. You can find herbs out in the woods and set up your camp, make stuff. So you got to replenish everything. It's not just going to be replenished automatically. So if you're really good at aim, and I'm really good at like third-person shooters, so once I figured the re-educated myself on the cover system, which is really good in that game, I was on point.
Yeah, I'm one of the, I like to be at range too for a lot of stuff.
Yeah. It's really cool because it's destructive environment, so some cover is not going to last forever. Like if you're hiding behind a tree or something and you're too close to the edge, they can shoot the edge of the tree. Like you see the tree explode, but it also hits you because if you're too close to the edge. So it's like realism, mechanics. Trees exploding, when it's chipping the rock, it could ricochet the wrong way.
Pretty wild.
Yeah, so it's like you're actually watching a Western while playing the Western. Oh yeah, so that is the game of choice that I'm working through right now on the Xbox. But I did download. I saw one of the games for gold. It was the Viking. There's a RPG, action RPG similar to like Diablo and Torchlight, called Viking, some Wolves of Midgard. It's a games for gold this month, and I think that was one of the games I wanted to get a while back, and I was like, you know what, I'm going to download and try this out. I haven't tried it out yet, so but it's on Games with Gold if you haven't got it yet.
No, I haven't checked my games with gold for this month.
Yeah, it's that one will probably might intrigue you since you're a fan of those action RPGs from what I saw. I haven't
Played it yet? You just downloaded it?
I saw Vikings and I was like, okay, that's enough for me to download, and it's free. So
Yep, that makes sense.
so let's see if I get a. Gameplay. Let me see. Yeah. So it has that like action RPG kind of mechanic to it. So it's in the vein of, you know, Torchlight, Diablo 3, you know, all those over the top. So put it in the chatty chats. And you're at it at another time. Who's watching? I'm just looking at who's in here. Cool beans. Yeah, I would definitely check out his games with gold, so it's free. Nothing wrong with free.
No, it's not. I mean, games with gold and, you know, Game Pass.
One big thing I'm liking, you know, this transition, this generational transition. I don't know if you saw some of the goals I've posted in the odds and ends, but
Oh yeah, I looked through them.
a lot of them has a lot of how gaming influence. There was one I wasn't able to. I gotta find the link again, but it was more of an opinion piece. But it talked about how Sony's banking on blockbuster games might hurt them this generation because of how Microsoft is gaining momentum with the Game Pass. Because
Well, I mean,
if their blockbuster games aren't hits, then they're not making any money. That's what the opinion article pretty much went into.
well, the other thing is looking at like this, the MLB, the new MLB, which has been such like a PlayStation exclusive for years and years and years, and now we're gonna get it at launch on Game Pass. And thinking back to when Sony was like, well, we're never gonna Game Pass, we just don't feel it's a feasible model to emulate. And it's like, you know what, that kind of thing might be what really hurts them, because I mean with the Game Pass, it's like, okay, as long as the game is there, you can play it, and most of them are there long enough for you to, you know, play through the entire game.
Yeah, I did that for a few games actually.
It's just like, you know, that I think is something that's like, you're not realizing how cool the option is for some people who can't sit there and buy AAA titles just because the AAA title came out. I mean,
yeah, I don't feel like I'm wasting $60 because that happened a few times on the 360 generation where I purchased games and I got rid of them so fast because they weren't what I thought they were. The one that comes to mind on 360 was Prey. Not the rebooted version that they did, but the one they did on 360. I hated that game, and I got rid of it. I was like, man, that was a waste of $60 right there. I didn't enjoy it. It was so. That was just one of the games. So it's just like for Game Pass, you can try it out and don't have to worry about it. Like, was it Kingdom something of Deliverance? Kingdom Come Deliverance? It's on Game Pass. And it's tried it out, played through it, and I did not like it. So, you know, I just deleted it and moved on. Didn't have to waste no money on it.
yeah.
So, but, you know, if you play a game and you like it, you know, you can purchase it at a discount, which is a good thing.
Yeah, it's a lot like how the whole rental model thing works. I mean, that comparison that Game Pass is like a Netflix for gaming, and I remember there was a service that was literally the same model as Netflix. I'm trying to remember, I can't remember right now, but it was around for a little bit where you could rent back before Netflix went whole hog into streaming. We had to we did the
Gamefly?
mail order for the that's it. Gamefly. I mean that was pretty good. That was a pretty good idea. But now everything went digital and streaming. It's like
Microsoft is like, let's jump on that. And now there's like rumors. I guess one of the developers, I think on the God of War game, was saying that Sony is thinking of having their own thing. Finally might be coming around on having their own thing.
Depends on how it's like when you look at the numbers, because all these publicly traded companies, they have to release their numbers for SEC. So if you're doing your investment research, you can see if this is actually working.
Yeah.
I mean, we're getting a lot more subscription Game Pass stuff. How was church?
Oh yeah.
Say hi to Tommy for me. Cool.
Yeah, like if it's not working, then EA would have not signed up, or
oh yeah,
purchase of Bethesda is adding to that vault of games too. So it's kind of gone pretty good.
I agree. I think it's gone.
I mean, it was already good in the first place, so you had some good games, but now you had, now that you have those catalogs, and if they will be, knock on wood, exclusives to Xbox from Bethesda, which is a possibility.
Well, I hope not, because I think you make more money selling if it's available everywhere. Then I mean, granted, I can see the model where it's like, okay, well, if it's exclusive to this console, you have to buy this console to play it. Some people are just not gonna bow into that, especially some of those sorts. But then again, also having it to where it's like, all right, well, I can sit there and do a part-time exclusivity, like some of these movie deals we're seeing, like the new one from Sony, Netflix. Sony films, after they come out of theater, they'll have a certain amount of time of exclusivity on Netflix before they get released to all the other places. I think is really.
Yeah, it's definitely it's Microsoft was forward thinking with it, because everybody was like, "What? No." It's like, well, let's go and do this, and then add a little bit here, a little bit here, get some content exclusive signing deals. Now it's expanding. All what's just the big thing? All Xbox exclusives will be there day one. So that's it's gonna. I think there's a place for it.
Really good.
It's just gonna keep building.
Yeah, I agree. There's gonna be some really interesting things.
But yeah, I think the next game on deck, I gotta look at it a little bit more, is whether it's Scarlet Nexus.
Okay.
Is going to be coming out soon for Xbox. Can't remember if it's an exclusive or not, but I know they're starting to advertise it. So it's like a cel-shaded anime style action game, fighting game. I don't know too much, but it looks interesting. From when Microsoft did their showcase last year, it was one of the games they showcased. So it's like, that looks like a fun new title, new IP play.
What do you think about the digital E3 this year?
I think it's well, I think it'll work out, because a lot of stuff have been going digital for a while right now.
Oh yeah, totally.
Because of still some restriction out there, but I think it's because you can correct me, I don't remember it going on last year. Did it?
No,
I don't remember it went on last year at all.
It was canceled
completely canceled
last year.
Okay, So yeah, it's good to bringing it back to the foray because it's still an important part in the gaming industry. It's still one of the key exposés out there.
I mean, remember
Even
it
if
was
it's
the
pared
original.
down.
I mean, it was originally for like, okay, holiday season's coming up. How many of these games do you want in your on your shelves?
Yeah.
Kind of deal. So they can get their pre-orders for the discs before things went completely digital.
But yeah, it's still a good place because then even with digital, it's a wider view. They were
Yeah.
still doing it like that before, but now they can just focus on the digital, and then they can actually build more expansive experiences because they don't have to worry about a stage or anything, and they can just do exclusively just highlight the games.
Yeah.
And do gameplay. You don't have to worry about any antics or anything. I think it's Xbox and Nintendo are the only ones so far. I remember
Well,
reading.
Sony didn't go to the last one. I don't think Sony's gonna go. Really don't think
Yeah.
so.
Yeah, I think it's still a good deal. So I think it'll work out.
Be fun.
I know they're still getting backlash for having the physical one around Thanksgiving. I saw that all over the place. I was like, all right,
Yeah. Well,
cool.
stuff like that's never really gonna change.
But yeah. Um, so right now, um, watching you get the colors in, and me trying to. We're supposed to come up with a draft for our independent research of that
What are you thinking of doing?
I'm doing what I'm going to do where you bring 21st century teaching technique into the writing class, and I'm going to focus on fandom. Bringing one of the articles that was in my research was how they were incorporating fan service into the classroom and using it as a way to teach the different genres of writing by allowing exposure to relative stuff that is in society. So what I am right now, I'm looking at all the examples of the handouts because so we got to design a handout for our research. So I'm looking at these handouts to try to get a good idea. It's going to be focused on bringing fandom into the classroom. Where is the art? So some of the strategies to bring it in is like community blogging, writing workshops, and just building over the span of whatever the class is, incorporating that with the different writing techniques
Okay.
that is out there. That's the aim. So right now it's just building the handout, so I'm not thinking too hard, just a draft of the handout. I'm looking at the examples because I'm always good if I see an example I can just build a good outline or foundation in my head when I see an example of something. So
I definitely think next time I'm building miniatures, Warhammer ones, I'm going to paint them as I build them. Because some of these corners are really hard to get into at this point.
Yeah.
But one of those things you learn as you do.
Yep. It's definitely it's a learning experience, but your miniatures do come out grand, so it's not like they're coming out 3 people or one.
Yeah, I'm failing up, as they say.
Yeah. Build up the army. take out the world.
Oh.
Let's see. Student folder. Go to my student folder. Bring up my outline. Word. Word up. That's what I'm gonna be working on most of the day, is coming up with an outline. Not outline, a draft of this handout. So,
Yeah, I gotta look at a Trello board here at some point today.
a what board?
Trello board?
Mm.
Oh yeah, I've been working on trying to do some more world building with my D&D games, and I think I've starting to really kind of hit a stride, but I think I need a little more writing work.
Oh yeah.
Introduced a mystery yesterday for the Shadow Watch crew, because they had made this trek across several rooms, and then for their way back they wanted to take the same route because it was the fastest route. But in doing so, it was, you know, things happened, but it was more of not so much things happened, because, you know, the world moves on regardless. Yeah. But it was what they didn't find, which was a lot of the aftermath. Like a couple of the fights they got into, the bodies they left, they came back, the bodies were all gone. Starting to really kind of work on them a little bit, where it's like, all right, this is a little weird. What is going on around here? For the challenge accepted one, it was, okay, there's some stuff going on. We're not sure what's up. But we're gonna try and figure out what's going on. And it was like at the end of the session, like there's so many plot threads they could pull on. It's almost like it's almost like a Candyland type thing. Oh man, we could do so many different things.
Yeah, there's a big variety of a lot of different things you can and can't do.
My biggest thing is the fact that it's really hard for me to prep up narrative when I'm literally, as I'm doing it, I'm thinking, you know, this would be, and it's literally improvising it right there on the spot. And I think the worst part about improvising it right on the spot is when it's all said and done, it's, okay, what was the plan again? You know?
Yeah.
I think that might be a bit of a problem later, but something I definitely need to work on, trying to figure out, okay, how do I want?
The Green Army is ready to take on the world.
Take on the world, have fun, do all the things.
Robbing and pillaging, I guess, in the mystical is still robbing and pillaging.
Yeah.
We fight for orcs, and now we take your land.
Orcs are, I've got some Age of Sigmar orcs I need to build. They're thinking, you know, maybe I should just sit here and paint a miniature a night just to keep refining my skills.
Yeah.
Maybe not necessarily do it as like stream, but just, you know, I need to get through all the pile I've got. Pile of miniatures. As much as I'd like to be like some people, it's like, I paint the minis I'm going to use on my next game day. Well, when the next time I'm going to have a bunch of people around the table to play a game. I don't want to get the miniatures painted, and so I can get that core muscle memory or that core experience down, where it's like brush, comfortable holding the brush, you get more comfortable hold it in a particular way, or have the work on keeping that tip a certain way. Here to get spots, then I can focus on, oh well, I got a couple of flip top totes full of miniatures that still need to be assembled. Assemble and paint as I'm going. Ladder over. Spots where it's, oh my gosh, corner with one color, darker. So, Rye, we got to make a winery trip sometime, man. Do you think you can get days off during the week?
Well, it won't be anytime soon. This month, because it's training galore. I did take off a week in May. So possibly then. If not, I know you're busy on weekends, but yeah, we can definitely. It'd have to be closer to the weekend, because what I've learned on accident, you know, midweek wineries aren't technically. There's not a lot of wineries open. It's like, I think it's like, for some reason it's like Monday, Tuesday, sometimes Wednesday, and they're closed. But later on in the week they're open.
Understandable.
So,
I was just saying we're starting to get into having more of a selection of wine in the house, and it's like, you know, Total Wine's great to go get a few things, but kind of miss that whole let's go on a walkabout.
Oh yeah, no? I'm definitely down. I just gotta find the week for days to take off, as it goes from slightly busy to super dang busy, really fast at work.
Oh, I can totally
taking off, even though I have all the days to take off. You know, you gotta be smart when you take those days off. All right. Yeah, I'm down. Like I told that to and told that Angelica. I was like, it's getting warmer. Restrictions are starting to be eased back a little bit. Well, not, let me rephrase that. Eased back a lot. And you know, things are generally open as long as, you know, people are safe.
Yeah.
I know. I mean, even last year, the wineries were open. Most of them were, but with certain ways of doing it. You couldn't do the typical tastings, but there was a way you could do it. Because I know the winery that I like to go to up near Charlottesville, Veritas, they had a way they were doing it. But there's still a way. So I think, you know, if we, you know, get in later in the summer, not later in the summer, but later, like May, June, they'll start to be more prevalent to the normal way that they did the tastings. But Yeah, they're open. I just got to figure out. When you went the one time, we went to Northern Virginia, so you never, at least with me, you never have gone to the wineries up near Charlottesville. So those are really nice. That I usually I've been going there. Well, I do back and forth. It was always Northern Virginia, then Charlottesville, Northern Virginia, then Charlottesville. But I think the next time I'm going to do Northern Virginia because I hadn't been up there, and I want to go to some up there that I like. That I know you haven't been to, so you can definitely try that. I'm trying to find. I used to have a link where it gave free photos. It was like a website. I can't even remember where I saved it. How many links? I'll
There's
find it.
one I remember going to a lot, and Pixel Bay. That one has a lot of.
Yeah, I know that's one of them. But there was another one I was using a
photos.
lot. Yeah, Pixel Bay. I have that up. I got it from Pixel Bay. Oh, staring right in my face. There we go. Pixel Bay, and another one I had is called Pix for Learning. Something my professor told me about a while back. Because I know the last time we had class this week, I asked, using photos in my handouts. I just don't, because you got to develop a handout for this 21st century teaching. So I'm looking at these example handouts. While you're making amazing paint jobs over here, because I have both my laptops open, so it makes it easier to do the schoolwork and watch the video.
Oh, thank you.
Oh yeah. So love the red. I think that's red, unless I'm colorblind.
Yeah, it's red. I liking the red bolters. I mean, I've heard some people like, thinking a little more realistic to have them as black, but I like the contrast.
Yeah, the green red is a good contrast. Green and black, I don't think that's a good contrast. But red always has a good contrast with stuff.
Yeah.
So. Yeah.
I got a couple of shades, but I was like, I don't like this one. I can use another red for the highlights. I feel so brave to try and highlight the wear marks and the shine.
Yeah.
Back through. Touching up where I overpainted. What's a good order? So probably should do the bolters in all red first, and then come back in with doing the gunmetal, and then
you know what? That is a good idea. That is a great idea. Contrast in the way. What you said, and something I just thought about.
Oh boy.
Going back to some of my old projects to see what I did.
Good idea.
Yeah, because I did. I did a project. It was about blackface in America. In a way, I built it was through like a fact sheet, so I can see what I did in Word. Because I was like, I know I did this in Word before. So let me see. 420. Yeah, this is it. So how did I do this? Oh yeah.
Figured out yet?
Okay. Yeah, I think I might have figured it out. Maybe.
Maybe.
Let's see. See. Fact sheet. more too. Wasn't a flyer. Yeah, I'm trying to figure out what I did. Green, super green. Okay, so I had two. I was like wondering. I was like, I know I had more in this thing. Get the green. So when you think of handout, you think of flyers, because I know that's something we have to do. It's a handout. All these
Yeah,
examples
handout,
isn't in the
something
vein of a flyer.
informational. I mean, Roll20, the handouts are basically just like, okay, here's some description of the creatures, here's some of the lore around them. Not necessarily their stats and stuff per se, but
Yeah.
stuff. It's all about what it is you want to let your players, well, at least in tabletop stuff, what do you want to let your players know? Whether it's player knowledge, character knowledge, or something.
Hmm. Into the light.
What to do?
Oh, yeah. So, you got it. Army's ready to take on the world. Take a break and and then work on my review.
What's this
For the
week's
movie
movie?
we watched on Friday? We watched the Netflix original Concrete Cowboy. It follows the story of the Fletcher Street Cowboys, like the Cowboys in Philly, but it focuses on a young boy and the relationship with his dad, who is played by Idris Elba. So it's a mixture of a lot of different things that are familiar with the father son trope, but there's an interesting dynamic of seeing cowboys in urban Philly. It's kind of intriguing in its own right and true. I did not know how true it was, but it is based on truth. There are what they call the Black Cowboys, where they're trying to preserve the heritage of the Black Cowboy. So pretty cool. Just gotta think about it and figure out pros and cons and write down my thoughts and go about it.
It makes sense. I can see that.
Yep. But I'll do that later. After I draft this outline or draft this handout. Just find a flyer template that looks appealing in Word. Use it. Super green, but yep. So you quite enjoyed Godzilla vs. Kong. You said you watched it twice.
Yeah, I watched it with the morning it came out, and then the next day watched it with the next day. Yeah, I think it was the next day. Watched it with the friend who was a real big Godzilla fan, and he had some critiques on Mechagodzilla. But overall enjoyed the film, so win.
Oh yeah, I enjoyed it. I quite enjoyed it. Some convolutedness in it, but some things you just gotta.
Some things you just gotta.
Yeah.
Bend reality on,
Yeah, like I put in, I don't know if you gathered at my review for it, but I said in there that there are times where you just got to accept what they're trying to do, and they're not trying to outsmart you or dumb it down or anything. It's like it's just a point to get from here to here because it knows what it is and it's going to deliver on what it was expected to be, and that's all it's going to do.
Yeah, and it totally delivered on it.
That's all it needs to do. It's not trying to be derivative of something prior. It's just a good beat 'em up of two iconic monsters. It's a heavyweight fight for the ages, as some would put it.
Probably the last thing I do on stream today is work on these Raven Wing logos.
The wings of the Raven.
Or Dark Angel logo. I'm an amateur. I'm an amateur.
You are an amateur, but still make it work. And it looks good once it comes out.
Nice thing about the batch painting is you get to practice the same thing over and over again in a same amount of time. Working on that technique.
Where is it? So I have this on my laptop somewhere. Things in the templates. Mixing in a little yellow.
No, adding white. The
Okay.
bone white
over here.
from Vallejo. But
awesome.
trying to hit just the tops without trying to like get all the little sides. I mean, the top is enough to make it stand out.
Yeah. Oh no.
Techniques I remember reading about was like side of the brush to get really high points without getting far into it.
Oh yeah. Go, Scoob, go. Making fixtures till they're done. Go, fix. Yeah. Any new shows caught your attention?
Not really. I'm eagerly waiting for the Bad Batch, but you know, that's I still have time. I can wait for that one.
Oh yeah. A couple of my anime stopped. Finished up for the season. Attack
We
on
did
Titan
finish the
finished,
Snyder
gotta
Cut
wait till
last week, though.
the end of the year. Finally. So, what's your overall impressions?
I think both films are good. I think the Snyder one is a bit slow in a lot of parts. It just seems like it's really
Yeah, I think that's a testament to what I mentioned when I gave my overall impression is the fact that he likes to use slow motion way too much.
yeah.
I think there's points where the movie would have been a lot quicker if you didn't have to constantly use slow motion, minus the scenes with Barry Allen. But yeah.
I mean, even
yeah.
that, there are points where it's just like, okay, I really need 2 minutes of Barry running.
Oh yeah, it's a pill to swallow. I think my criticism, comes in, there's some things that could be trimmed down to make it more leaner, but I think the Snyder Cut is a lot more cohesive. There's what's the point from beginning, middle to end.
I think one of the, like, talking with my friend after we finished it, I think one of the things is like, we were kind of we were hoping that some of the humor was kept from Whedon cut versus the Snyder cut, but definitely some of the color palette changes are better. And all of that. I think overall it's not bad. It was just slow, so slow.
Oh yeah, I noticed that, at least for me, the slowness came in a lot of those slow motions. But I think
well, there's some slow motion parts, and then there's some other ones where it's just like, okay, do we really need to spend this much time working on it?
You need that much time for an acapella session for Aquaman? No. But I think the third act was a heck of a lot better than what it was originally.
I like the third act a lot more. I think it definitely was better than to have that person on the ground thing, which is what he justified, having that family that lived around that reactor area, because that just didn't make it felt really kind of disjointed for the rest of the
yeah. So yeah, that whole third act, you get to see every character has a purpose. Especially I like how every character factored into it, especially the Barry Allen. Flash had more to do in the third act than he did in the original version. He was definitely important for it. Without spoiling it, if anybody's watching and hasn't watched it yet, I'm not going to say what, but he had a big importance in the third act.
Yeah, he did. He totally had a much better bit. I think they all did in a lot of ways. I would have liked it if we didn't have the cape on the black suit. That's just.
It probably would have worked. I'm like I said, I'm not the not a Superman aficionado. I don't know all the details.
He wore the black suit originally. It was to help him recover, because it absorbed solar better, UV from the solar, the yellow sun. There was no cape, So I think having the black suit would have been nice, but I don't think you really necessarily needed the cape to go with it. But, you know, and I think the last scene should have been back to the blue and red. I don't think you should have kept it as the black suit for that last bit where you checked on everybody.
Yeah. I know what you're talking about.
That would have been, I mean, I think if you're going to have that iconic moment for everybody kind of going about what they're doing, should have had him in his regulars. It's all good. It's out. It's over. People can quit demanding it. Now, of course, I'm sure everyone's going to demand that Warner Brothers complete the trilogy they originally did, instead of the fact they went in a completely different direction with.
There's already clamoring in the fan community of like restore the Snyderverse. I mean, if they wanted to, they could. I don't think. Oh, I'm not even gonna. Let me rephrase that. I don't know what's going to happen, but you know, that's a lot of actors to call back.
Especially after this much time and everything, and some of them may not necessarily want to come back. Who knows?
Yeah, that might be the case for a lot of them.
About 2 hours in and got good progress on these Dark Angels.
A lot of models.
They'll have some leather pouches to paint. Going back over these colors again to darken them up a little. Start working on some touch up. It's pretty good progress. They're starting to look a little more finished.
They do. They're like I said, it's good. A good complement of the green and red.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
Go.
Ready. Good enough for this week. It was
Scoobing away.
Alrighty. Well, Enjoy your afternoon, everyone. Thank you for, if you've completed the video all the way to the end, thank you very much. You are awesome and amazing. If you enjoyed this content, please be sure to hit the like, subscribe, and the little bell notifications to be notified when future videos come out. Thank you to Rye for hanging out during most of the stream as we worked on these Dark Angels. Keep in mind, Tuesday evening, 9 p.m. Eastern, here on this channel is Scoob and the Rye, our weekly podcast where we talk about games, movies, and whatever other random thing come up at the time. Next Saturday, Saturdays are typically live D&D games. We have Shadow Watch at 1 p.m. Eastern and Challenge Accepted at 8 p.m. Eastern, right here on YouTube. Thank you very much for watching. A shout out to Stream Beats for the background music today, and see you on our next stream. Have a good afternoon, everybody.
Bye.